Let's speak to Osama Nazzal, who's a Palestinian affairs analyst and joins us from the occupied West Bank. Osama, thank you so much for your time. I'm sort of surprised, and I think maybe others are, that we haven't had any official Palestinian reaction. How do you feel about this plan as a Palestinian?
First of all, we need to understand that since the start of the war, Israel decided that all the Palestinians of Gaza be out of Gaza. The policy of transferring the Palestinians either to Sinai or any other country, like we heard days ago, the Congo, for example. Then some of the Israeli officials began to talk about reoccupation of the Gaza Strip and building settlements in order to have Jewish settlers in place of the Palestinians. Yesterday, the Israeli war minister talked about his own plan. Anyway, this means that Israel doesn't have a consistent plan, doesn't have a consistent policy. Israel is living a state of confusion and uncertainty. And what is important is that nobody can decide for the Palestinians their future. The Palestinian people themselves who determine their future and who determine how to rule and control their own country. The only solution for this war and this conflict is the end of the Israeli occupation, not only ending the occupation of Gaza, but also of the West Bank and East Jerusalem and the establishment of the Palestinian state. Without this solution, all what we hear from the Israeli officials and their supporters in the world, like the American administration, their collaborators anywhere, nonsense and meaningless. Who draws the Palestinian map, political and geographical map, are the people of Palestine, and the steadfastness and the resilience of the Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank, all this time under bombardment and under siege, it proves that nobody can decide for the Palestinians how their country would be ruled anytime in the future.
Osama, you've hit two very critical points there. First of all, you're talking about the divisions within the Israeli war cabinet, and then you're talking about the Palestinians having to have responsibility for their own land. So we know that Benjamin Netanyahu won't even say the name of the Palestinian Authority, but Yoav Gallant, he probably wants the Palestinian Authority to have some sort of control over Gaza in the future. But to bring it back to the Palestinians, Osama, is it not now time for the Palestinians to start talking with the Americans and saying, this is what we will offer you, and this is our point of view, and this is what we want?
Yeah, sure. From the beginning, my dear, the Palestinian leadership and the Palestinian national movement told the Americans and told the whole world, the Arab League and all the people interested in the conflict, that first of all, Israel must stop its genocide campaign against the Palestinian people in Gaza. That is a priority, and that is the first step that must be implemented. After that, we can talk how Gaza would be ruled. And we can't talk about Gaza without talking about the rest of the occupied Palestinian territory. And that was the position of the Palestinian Authority from the beginning. And they told the American Secretary of State every time he came to Ramallah that you can't talk about Gaza as a separate parcel of land, because Gaza is part of the Palestinian land occupied in 1967. Any other talk and any other plan would be a big failure, because there is no Palestinian on this planet would accept such proposals and such views that are proposed by the Zionist regime and promoted by the supporters of the Zionist regime.
Osama, we know you're not representing any Palestinian group or authority, but I presume that your analysis is going to coincide when we hear from senior Palestinian officials. Osama, thank you very much indeed for the moment.
You're welcome.
Okay.